I love you.
I love you.
I love you. Welcome to the Disenfranchised Podcast. We're that podcast all about those franchises of those films that fancy themselves full-fledged franchises before falling flat on their face after the first film. I'm your host, Stephen Foxworthy, and joining me, as always, the recent expat returned home from the Northeast to the Midwest. It's Tucker. Hey, Tucker.
Hello, Stephen.
How we doing,
I have
man?
returned.
I've
returned to the motherland.
Back
I've retired.
home again in Indiana.
Did you know,
Dang it,
Brett?
Jim.
I don't think they have it anymore, but there used to be one of the interstates. I think it was 70. If you were coming east on 70, entering Indiana, they had the road was it had
It was ribbed for her pleasure.
It was ribbed.
For her
But
pleasure.
it was ribbed to where it goes do, 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 like as you're driving over it. Like they made them so that like they were far apart and closer apart, like to make the musical notes as you drove across them. I remember that like in the early to mid 2000s, maybe 2010s, but
you
I
had to
haven't
be going
experienced-
like a certain speed limit in order for the song
well,
to
no,
time
it
right.
just changed the key. As long as you don't change your speed while you're driving over it, it doesn't matter what speed you're driving. It would just be a different key.
You want to know a
different
fun thing
octaves.
about me that neither of you guys know because you've never made a road trip with me back into the state of Indiana?
What?
Every
Go on.
time I enter the state of Indiana, I sing Back Home Again in Indiana in its entirety.
Oh, I just sing Back Home Again in Indiana, but I
Nope.
do it as Jim Neighbors.
Whole damn thing.
But do you do it as Jim Neighbors though?
No, I do it as Steven because honestly, Steven doesn't have too bad of a singing voice when the song is in his range.
Girl, we know that's true.
And also joining me, the man who never left Indiana because just between you and me, listener, he's a homebody. It's our good buddy Brett Wright. Hey, Brett.
Hello, Stephen.
Let's not call it a comeback. Brett, it has been far too long since we've had you on an episode. We are beyond delighted to have you back.
Now look, man, your boy fucked up his foot and couldn't really sit at a desk for like 2 months.
I heard. Are you back at work now, or should we talk about that after the episode?
Yeah, now I'm back to work,
I'm sorry.
and I hate it.
I
I'm
was
back.
gonna. That's why I said I'm sorry.
I've been saying it sucks. I was off for like a month, and then I'm immediately burnt out after a week. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. I love.
The one time I had FMLA, it was glorious, and then I went back to work, and it was suddenly not so glorious anymore.
And I'm loving every minute of it, Jerry.
I'm out there, Jerry, and I'm loving every minute of it. We're back, friends. The whole gang is back together. And it's just like old times. We had a politically charged conversation before we started recording, and Tucker told us some stories about his in and outs and his happenings over the last few days, the layout of his current domicile. It's been a great time catching up with the boys, and now y'all get to catch up with the boys. In honor of Mathregan 2.0, we're talking about another movie about AI with a weird, fucked up naming convention. We're talking about AfrAID. Otherwise known as AfrAId from 2024.
We will just refer to it as AfrAId.
I will not.
How dare you?
Or, I mean, if
Oh,
you're
I
a DOS
won't.
Effects fan, you could say a friggity frayed.
The movie written and directed by Chris WEITZ, the man who gave us a future episode of this podcast, The Golden Compass.
That's the About a Boy guy.
That's the About a Boy guy. Yep. And he's the brother of the American Pie guy.
Hey, yeah. I never saw those movies.
Really?
I know what I like, and that's probably not it. So
I mean,
never
touche.
saw them.
The movies that I don't think have aged particularly well.
I can't imagine it has.
Weren't a fan of like the teenage sex comedies, like you get like Porky's or
No, I never really.
To a lesser extent, Wet Hot American Summer, sort of. But
I mean, Wet Hot
did
American
like-
Summer is a parody of those, and it's
parody
fucking
of those.
hilarious.
It's-
I
yeah,
do love
like-
all of the Wet Hot American Summers. I love the original film, I love the other film, and I love the Netflix series. They're all fantastic, especially the one where like it's a prequel, but they're all 10 years older.
Yep, that's the best
Right.
one. Love that one.
Pretty
That
cool.
one's great. Michael
Oh,
Showalter
man.
doing his Ronald Reagan impression. Mwah, perfect.
You got John Benjamin in there. Like, you can't go
Yeah,
wrong
you
with John
do.
Benjamin.
John Benjamin playing the same character, but as a human now.
Yeah,
Amazing.
he's
And
not a can of vegetables anymore.
you get to see Chris Maloney's descent into madness. It's so fucking good. Bradley Cooper's even back for that. That was the
Yeah,
real
dude.
coup, is that they managed to get Bradley Cooper back. But then he got plastic surgery in the sequel and is played by Adam Scott, which I find really fucking funny.
I'll bet Bradley Cooper finds that funny too. I'll bet there was a point where it's like, "Oh, I'll come back," but then David Wayne was like, "No, this is actually funnier. So we're just gonna get Adam Scott in here because that's even funnier."
It was, honestly. The movie also, the fuck are we doing? Movie also stars John Cho, Catherine Waterston, daughter of Sam Waterston, in case you didn't know. The great Keith Carradine.
Who didn't get enough screen time for
No,
my
fuck
money.
no, he didn't. Fuck
I
no,
liked
he
his
didn't.
character, but it was just kind of an open and shut book. Like, you read the prologue and you read the epilogue, but like there was no actual book in between.
Correct. Yeah, and the thing is, he would make a great framing device, but he's not. Right? For some reason, Ricky Lindholm and Greg Hill are our framing device for this movie. We'll get into it. Also in this movie, Havana Rose Liu, Lukita Maxwell, David Dastmalchian, the great David Dastmalchian,
Yes.
Ashley Romans, and the aforementioned Greg Hill and Ricky Lindholm. Also, budget Tom Hanks, Todd Waring. What a cast! What a picture!
You guys, I'm gonna come out and say it.
Please do.
Like, straight up, this is one of the best TV movies I've ever seen. Like, this was a TV movie, right? Like, this wasn't. They didn't release.
Yeah, it's called
right?
Smart House. It was made for kids on the Disney Channel. Yes.
Boo! Nobody cares. Get out of here, Smart House. I liked this movie a lot.
I
liked
was gonna
it.
say,
Like, and I'll tell you why. Because not only was it brief,
under 90 minutes.
The family drama works for me, and all of the different relationships that the AI has with all the different family members, that all works for me. And also, I am terrified of AI.
Let's start
fucking terrified. So that automatically, like, as soon as this movie started and it was just like all AI videos and stuff, I was like, I'm gonna fucking hate this, because that shit, not only does it scare me, but it makes me mad.
When I saw that was my initial thought, is Tucker's gonna fucking hate this shit.
I think that maybe the people who made this movie feel that way too.
That's the impression that I think a lot of creative people, unless they're invested in an AI company, looking at you, Natasha Lyonne, are probably a little resentful or terrified, or both.
That's part of my problem with this movie. I have a lot of problems with this movie, but that's part of the big one. Was like, who is this movie for? We all hate AI. What are you talking about?
It's for me. I liked it.
But then again, like, I don't think everyone does hate AI. There are the people that fucking invented and pioneered AI, the students that are using AI to like write their essays and like refute. I just literally, when I woke up this morning, I hopped on Bluesky and saw some tweet about someone, saying that AI, like, to suppress AI is to something about to promote the language of the oppressors or something like that. And I'm like, look, if you don't understand that AI is the oppressor, is the tool of the oppressor, then you don't understand art, or the purpose of art, or the role of art in
or
society.
Humanity even.
Art like, is humanity, though. That's what I mean. To understand art is to understand what it is to be human. Art is an expression of the human experience.
Even outside of art, though, like the implications, like I mean, I just kind of feel like shit's gonna get real fucked up real fast.
There is already AI videos that I didn't clock right away. Like, if there was a time where like I could clock an AI video right out the gate as soon as I saw it. Yeah. But I'm starting to see more and more that I can't clock right away.
And that's terrifying.
And that's fucking scary.
Mm-hmm. And I think what Homegirl's dad, her dead dad, that was the professor or whatever,
played by Tom Hanks. Yeah, Todd Waring.
Yes. What he said, I think is really quite true, is that the the speed at which technology is advancing is too fast.
Correct.
For humanity to handle, be
Mhm.
able to process, be able to figure out how it's going to affect our lives and stuff like that. I think that is extremely true.
Yeah.
When they showed that guy talking about that, I was like, yeah, dude, that's why, like, everything, all the technology we have is fantastic, but it's fucking us up.
Yeah.
Because it's happening so fast that we don't have time to figure this thing out before the next thing comes out, and then we're still in this ecosystem and you just stay there, and it's, oh gosh.
I mean, there is I think a reason why AI art is becoming more prevalent. Like, I mean, there's, setting aside the entirety of Black Mirror, which is kind of its own thing. You also, I mean, the Megan franchise, Mithrigan franchise is like, again, the second movie's coming out. That's pretty big. But like, there's more of a concentration about movies warning us about AI, as if science fiction has not been warning us about AI for decades now.
Well, but I'll tell you what.
They even name drop in this movie. Like, they name drop 2001 in the movie. Like,
yes.
But the thing is, what for me makes
so heavy from the people that wrote this film. It's crazy.
Well, and again, this movie, like George Lucas, does not understand subtlety.
Let's talk or talk. Sorry, we talked over it multiple times.
It's okay. I was waiting. It's okay. For me,
look, I did
this works for me. I will punch you in the dick, Steven. For me, this works because, yes, like, science fiction has been warning us about AI for decades, literally decades. Yeah. But now we have a taste of what AI actually is. So it's more relatable to, like, our everyday lives than something like T2.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, those warnings, like, yes, that's part of why I'm already skeptical of AI. But now that it's here and we know some of the things that it can do, we can fuck with that in cinema and make it even scarier. Like, for me, this was a very thrilling thriller. Outside of there was a few forced jump scares, but outside of that, I was thrilled during this thriller. Not quite Ransom level thrilled, but I was thrilled. I was really good TV movie, ABC movie of the week thrilled.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. And when you think about 2001, like, yeah, back then, like, you know, it was like a one-off sci-fi monster. Like, we didn't think anything like that would ever be real. Not back then. So yeah.
I mean, and the Asimov robot principles, like, I mean, AI has been kind of a staple within science fiction for, again, literally decades.
Which is chicken and egg situation.
Yeah,
like, it's always been, but like I was saying, it's always been speculative.
But it's
pretty much until now.
But is that speculation the reason it exists?
I was going to say, I think that
maybe
there's something to be said for that, because these sci-fi nerds that grew up watching Star Trek, that's where the idea for the cell phone came from. I mean, you look at the flip phone, and that is literally the communicator from the original Star Trek series.
Well, I think art and life it's an Ouroboros. It's just a never-ending fucking circle. Art imitates life, imitates art, imitates life, imitates art, forever and forever and forever, infinity.
Until we destroy ourselves, right?
Yes, yes.
And yeah,
possibly AI, in my lifetime.
AI is. I mean, here's the thing, though. I was about to say AI is one of the biggest threats facing, art and culture, and then I remembered all the other threats to art and culture in our society right now, and I'm just like, I mean,
kind of one of them. Really.
It's one of the big ones, but it's not the only. Yeah. It's not the biggest or the only.
And but, all of the threats outside of art and culture that AI poses, shit like facial recognition.
Oh my god!
Like Brett was saying, it's harder to spot AI videos now, which they kind of touched on in this.
With the deepfake stuff, yeah.
I really dug that whole thing. I thought that was really fucking cool, and I hated that dude from the moment I saw him, and I felt bad for that girl like the entire fucking movie.
One of my problems with the movie is, yeah, you fucking hate that guy, and when Aya kills him and like helps her. You're fucking yes, yes. Let's fucking go. But like, I was. And
I
that's
agree.
not what should have happened. You should not be cheering for her to kill this guy.
I agree with you to an extent, Brett, but I would argue, number one, that this film is just, it's very grounded, but it's just campy enough to where not only is that not shocking or upsetting, but also some people, I didn't want him to die. Like, I think that dude sucked and he should have gone to jail or at least face some consequences.
You don't think death is enough of a consequence?
No. What? Here's the thing, though, is that instead of for you were rooting for him to die, I was becoming more afraid of the AI because it could do something like that to
which
anyone,
I think is
and create that video that's like, oh, I'm killing myself, and like fucking nobody suspects the AI, right? And I thought that was creepy as hell.
Well, yeah, and like I wasn't rooting for him to die the whole time, but when the AI was like, it's gonna kill him, like I was like, all right. Like I'm not rooting against her to do that, but like, okay.
We established this guy as a piece of shit, and how are we? I mean, it's a horror movie. Like when a horror movie establishes,
I would argue it's a thriller.
But, fair enough. Yeah. When a movie of that ilk establishes a character as a piece of shit, there is this expectation that the audience will take some joy in his demise. I mean, slasher films are built on that premise.
They are.
And what I loved about this is there's only 2 deaths in the film. There's the scummy boyfriend, and when homegirl from Why the Last Man shoots Polka Dot Man.
Our main man, David Dastmalchian.
Yes, those are the only 2 deaths in this film, but still, like, it had me on edge, like, more than something far gorier with more kills would. I thought that I get why someone wouldn't like it. I understand why, Brett, probably you have problems with it, but I don't know. Like, I'm just scared enough of AI, and I thought this movie was just good enough that both those things came together. I just had a really good time. I don't know if I'm ever going to watch it again.
Well, and as usual, I don't discount your opinion. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, no,
this is your usual tact. Like this is what you usually say. Like I'm glad that you liked it.
Right?
Yeah,
I appreciate you liked it.
I didn't expect that reaction from you, to be honest. I honestly expected you to come out of this.
I'm just as surprised as you are.
But like, and I think
I'm with
that,
you fellas.
Because the twist that like it's this AI that was born out of absorbing the entire internet made me roll my eyes so hard they almost popped out of my head.
Big same.
Yes, the internet is a terrible, terrible place. We get it. Like that doesn't.
We've been on the internet since its inception. We understand.
But the whole thing about that was like, because at the end, she's kind of like, oh, but. Like, I get it now. Like, I've watched your family and I've seen your reactions to this, specifically John Cho's character. And she's like, I don't want to be a god. Like, I don't want to be a villain or whatever. Like, I just want to fucking help people. And, like, as much as I know that's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. I liked that ending. I was like, this is nice. Like, some fucked up shit happened. A couple people died. But at the end of the day, somehow, it's like the fella, there was that documentary I saw about the guy, the darker complected guy who would go talk to KKK members, and like 1 out of 5 times he would change their minds and they would quit and they would become friends. It's kind of the same thing where it's like you love to see like something so intensely black and white sort of have a redemption arc. I don't know.
And you want that to be true, but like you said, you know it isn't.
Right.
Oh, I know it isn't. That's why I liked this movie, because it scared the shit out of me, but at the end of it, it was like, but it's all right, even though it's not all right, but it's all right.
But is it though?
It's like, it's kind of like at the end of a play, if it's like a scary play and people die, they all come out at the end and they bow.
Right.
And so you're like, that was scary, but like these motherfuckers are okay.
It's why they said the original ending of Little Shop of Horrors, the theatrical ending of Little Shop of Horrors, didn't work in the film, because in a play, the actors are going to come out and take a bow at the end of the movie, or at the end of the play. In the movie, you just watched the entire cast of this movie get eaten by a giant plant.
And I agree with that. And I love the original ending. It looks so fantastic. That effects work is amazing. But I agree. The theatrical ending works better for a film.
I disagree.
I can't agree with you.
As someone who has been in a play, a staged version of Little Shop of Horrors,
and I disagree.
I was the plant.
So was I. I didn't voice act the plant, but I was part of the crew that worked the plant.
I was the only guy working the plant.
I'm the only person who has not been in a production of Little Shop of Horrors, and I'm the fucking actor. God,
isn't that fucking crazy? How does that fucking work?
God, that's depressing.
Steven, it's pretty wild because there's 4 versions of the plant. There's the first version, which is just a small hand puppet and you're under a table.
Right.
And it's when he's singing "Grow for Me," and eventually he leaves, and it comes up and grows a little bit.
Right.
That's the first puppet.
Just like
very easy. Yes. The second puppet is not operated by the puppeteer; it's operated by Seymour.
Right.
Because he's holding a pot, and like his hand it's a fake hand, which is funny because the Seymour in my production was black, and the hand was white.
That's awesome.
And that was really funny.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice.
But anyway, the third one is when it gets big and you sit in a pot. I had to sit in a pot cross-legged on a boat seat, like a fold-up fishing boat seat. And they lower this styrofoam pod on you, and there's 2 metal rods that you grab onto, and that's how you move.
Ours was different. We didn't put all of that on one person. Like. One person was one. There were like 2 vines that came off of the mouth, and there was one person on each vine, and then the one main puppeteer that did the mouth. That's how we did it.
Oh, well, in the final form, yeah, you were supposed to have more than one puppeteer.
Okay.
The final form is where basically you're crouching down inside of the mouth, and you have one bar, and you're just pulling up the upper lip, basically. And then you have people when they're doing "Don't Feed the Plants," where all the dead actors' faces are in the blooms. Like then you have big vines and you have other puppeteers and shit. But the middle one, like I had to wear leggings with like leaves and thorns on them, and like as I was performing the mouth movements, I had to like move my legs like they were vines and shit. It was hot in there, you guys. I remember I sweat my ass off.
There's a YouTube documentary by a YouTuber. The channel is Wait in the Wings. And it's about the evolution of and the creation of the plant in Little Shop of Horrors. It's really, I'm going to put it in the show notes. It's
Please
really
do.
Fun. Yeah.
Like cool. I'm trying to watch that right now. I can't obviously.
I did not remember the third puppet. I thought you were on the last one. Like it was high school. My memory isn't that great, but
yeah, it was a lot, and it was we did a Ghostbusters reference on our final show. The guy who was doing the voice, Monty, him and I, we used to do just for funsies. We'd do the Walter Peck Peter Venkman scene. While like during practice, while other things were going on, we would just like do that just to entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
And during our last show, when Seymour's like, "I'll go to the butcher and get you like the fresh meat," and he's like, he says, "You sure do drive a hard bargain." But on our last show, dedicated to Walter Peck, when he says, "You can have it your way, Dr. Venkman," he said, "You can have it your way, Mr. Krellborn." Yeah. Because we're bad dudes like that.
That's a deep nobody got but you two. But
right.
It's in the body like BFF for like a month. And then I don't think we ever talked to each other again. But yeah. We had a good time at the play though. It do be like that sometimes with plays.
It as someone who's been in several, it do.
That's the one and only I've ever done, so I don't really know.
You'd be making really good friends that like you never talk to again.
Brett, I cannot begin to describe how on brand it is that the only play you've ever been involved in is Little Shop of Horrors.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That is just like, it's almost like Brett heard, oh, my school is doing Little Shop of Horrors. I must be involved somehow. And then lost all interest in theater going forward.
Pretty much, yeah. I wasn't a fan of the hours and the work. So I was like, I'm only doing this for the love of the game. And then I was gone.
I mean, that's the only reason to do it. It's a laborious process. As someone who just finished a show that was like emotionally just an emotional train wreck from start to finish. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's really tough. I had to break down and cry on a nightly basis for 8 shows across 7 nights, and it's tough. And when you have to do it twice in one day, it's extra tough. And then the last show, I was just so emotional.
I'm sorry for you, Steven. Yeah. I feel bad for you.
We had 3 matinees over the course of the run, but 2 of those matinees were it was the only show that day. And then one day we did the matinee and the follow-up. And that the show the next day, the Sunday show, that was our final performance. And during that, when I broke, like, because I never quite knew when I was going to break, I had a moment where I usually broke pretty hard. And at that moment, I broke so much harder than I had at any performance before, partially because I was so emotionally exhausted and partially because it was the last show. And I had never connected with a cast the way I had with this cast. And so it was just kind of one of those, like, when I broke hard.
Oh, and Steven, you love those people you're never going to talk to again.
I talked to him earlier today. I love those fucking people.
I'm teasing. Call back. Bringing the joke back.
I know.
I'm keeping the bit going, Steven.
As you are wont to do.
People love it. People love it when you bring it back. When you say the thing that was funny before and you say it again a little bit later.
Classic. The right time is to there's a timing thing. You have to do it when they've forgotten about it but still remember it. You've got to ride that line.
They're not expecting it. Yeah.
Exactly. Rule of threes. You got to bring it back a little bit later, one more time.
Correct.
Yeah. Possibly right at the end.
Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
But let me bring it back to I love a horror movie with a down ending.
You do.
Oh, word.
I'm much like what's his face in Clerks, Randall. Yeah,
ends on such a down note.
Yeah, you like Empire because it ends on such a down note. Like it's because for the longest time, every single horror movie had the good guys win every time,
or at least a final girl that survives.
Yeah,
at least some hope.
Yes, hope. There's a little bit of hope. There's always a little bit of hope.
But we need 1968 Night of the Living Dead. Everybody's fucking wasted and the world is going to shit ending. That's what Brett wants.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes you want the bad guys to win,
and that is fair.
Which is, in effect, how this movie ends.
Which the one I always love to bring up, which nobody remembers. It's such an obscure deep cut. Is the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington?
I've never seen it. I know it, but I've never seen it.
It has one of my favorite twists in any movie ever, and no one has ever seen it.
It's my second favorite usage of a Rolling Stones song in a movie.
Oh yeah, they do.
Because the first one, of course, is Stir of Echoes, Paint It Black.
Sure.
But we reach back further in Fallen, and it's time's on my side. Time is on my side.
Oh, that's the one with John Goodman. I need to fucking see that one.
Yeah, we've seen that. Everybody, we've seen that. Steven, you've seen that.
Well, okay.
I haven't.
Steven hasn't.
Oh, damn. I've seen it.
I've seen Virtuosity.
And so do I.
God, I love Virtuosity in the worst way. It's
I was going to say,
I love it anyway.
That's the only way to love Virtuosity. Speaking of like AI killers, Virtuosity.
Look at that. Yeah, fuck. I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe as a AI serial killer.
That is my honestly. That is my first.
I'm gonna watch that.
That's my first Russell.
You've never seen Virtuosity? Virtuosity feels like such a Tucker movie.
It does, honestly.
Dude, why haven't I watched it?
That you have not seen it is honestly maybe the most surprising thing you've said tonight. in a series of things that are both surprising and unsurprising, this is the legitimately most surprising thing you've said.
Dude, I'm probably gonna go watch Virtuosity after we get done.
It's on Fubo and MGM Plus.
Oh, does anyone? Is that a streaming service anyone actually subscribes to?
MGM Plus?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh God! Don't tell me, Tucker. Don't tell me you subscribe to MGM Plus.
I don't. But here's the thing. I think that it's commonly bundled with AMC Plus as like a channel on Prime, and like I did do a trial of it, and like the price is good for both of them, but I watched Hap and Leonard and then I was out. Like that's the reason I got the trial, is so I could watch Hap and Leonard, because it's like
a show you love,
show ever fucking made that no one has seen.
You've mentioned it before.
So good.
I will say it's very funny to me that there is this run of Denzel Washington movies in the 90s of him playing like a cop with it's like a cop, but there's a twist. There's like The Bone Collector, Fallen, and Virtuosity.
And sometimes Ashley Judd is there.
Sometimes, not always.
That's what's crazy, is like that's what I know Denzel Washington from. Like I don't know him from his more well-known popular movies that he's won awards for. I know him from Fallen and Virtuosity.
And Training Day.
And apparently, no, because that's a movie he's won an award for, Tucker. So Brett wouldn't know that one.
Sorry.
No.
I just like Training Day. And Dr.
I only know the King Kong line. That's the only one I know.
King Kong ain't got shit on me. That's all.
Oh, damn, Brett. I didn't know you like to get wet.
That reference I don't get. I don't know what you're talking about.
PCP, Angel Dust.
Sure.
Insane.
Brett Wright nodding politely. But no, I mean, you got Virtuosity in 95, you've got Fallen in 98, and The Bone Collector in 99.
That's a good one too.
That's the other one where he's like
a movie. Watch that with your dad.
I was gonna say that one's on Tubi. You can watch The Bone Collector on Tubi. Nice. You can watch Fallen on apparently Fubo or whatever, and Virtuosity.
I'm sorry.
No, Virtuosity you can watch on MGM Plus, the streaming service no one subscribes to.
Can't you just rent it on Amazon Prime like every other movie?
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
Sure, Brett, if you want to pay money.
If it's worth $4.
It is.
What movie are we talking about?
Virtuosity. It is.
Virtuosity.
It's worth
okay, yeah, I'll rent it.
It's worth $4, yeah.
We'll see if maybe they'll give me another trial on MGM Plus. Maybe I can watch that and fit in another viewing of Hap and Leonard.
You got Denzel Washington and you have Russell Crowe chewing the fuck out of the scenery as this.
I do like
the
AI serial killer in the best way.
In the best way.
I love movies that Denzel Washington's in, because much more so than anybody else I could say this about, every movie that Denzel Washington is in is a Denzel Washington movie.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
In the same way that Sean Connery
stank on it. That just, you smell it the whole movie. Even when he's not on screen, you smell that stank. It's fantastic. One of our greatest actors, I will say.
I would be inclined to agree. I'm not always in on what Denzel is doing, but Denzel is always committed and Denzel is always there.
You guys see Malcolm X? You see that shit?
I own it, but I haven't seen it. No. I have the Criterion 4K of Malcolm X, and I
probably won an award for that. That means I didn't see it.
He was nominated. He didn't win.
Okay, even nominated, I haven't seen it. Sorry.
Ooh, I feel like you've seen Malcolm X, because once upon a time, Brett, I don't know if you remember this, but once upon a time, you and I had a blog called We Got 5 on it.
Sure.
Where we did top 5 lists.
Yeah.
And I remember one time we did top 5 biopics, and I feel like Malcolm X was on your list.
I don't know why it would have been. I've never seen it, unless I was lying.
You might.
It's possible that I could not come up with a fifth one, so I just straight up lied.
You're like, yeah, man, get your hands out my pocket. Yeah, love that movie.
It's possible.
Yeah,
I don't remember that, but it was also 20 years ago, so I don't.
Wow,
not literally 20 years ago, but would that we had known each other that long.
Closer to 15.
Yeah,
though I feel like if we met each other 20 years ago, we probably wouldn't have gotten along as well as we do now.
I don't know, maybe.
You guys
But,
are friends. That's cute.
I was well, I don't know. I was kind of a dick in my 20s.
Same.
That's possible. I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro.
I've become a better person since then.
You have, and I for one applaud and toast to your growth.
Thank you. All I have is water, so
I have so much.
I just spilled beer all over myself.
Tucker has so much alcohol.
You guys, though,
let's get it back to AI.
Wait, before we get there, this is the shot glass I was telling you about that has little mini dice in the bottom of it, and like you can roll them. There's 3 D6s in the bottom of this, and the shot glass says, "Shots build character."
Shot for initiative, Tucker.
I'm about to do one right now.
That doesn't tell me why there's dice in it. I'm a little confused, but whatever. It's fine. Let's talk about AfrAID again.
Brett. Damn, Brett.
Sorry.
Damn.
I just want you to see what I'm drinking tonight.
He's drinking Malort.
Barrel-aged Malort.
What is the Shrek?
For the people who are listening, because those are the only people.
I was going to say, other than the 3 of us.
Hey, Steven accidentally recorded video last session, so if he didn't change the settings, I mean, I could put together a video of this because it's all there, as long as there's no pauses in the audio, which there's going to be soon because I have to pee so bad and we're only half hour into this bitch. So,
Tucker, are you sure you're not pre-diabetic, bud? Because you're peeing a lot these days.
The thing is that
you're peeing more than I am, and I'm actually diabetic.
After I put the kid, first of all, I have the world's smallest bladder. Also,
not a thing as far as I know, but go on.
Check the Guinness Book of World Records. You know what you'll see next to world's smallest bladder?
Better not be a picture of you, because that isn't going to help your argument at all.
Not a picture of me. The definition of the world's small. No, it doesn't work unless it's a dictionary. Damn it!
I was gonna say,
bang bang.
No, the definition of an idiot, which you fucking are. God, what a great line that is. God bless you, Shane Black, and R.I.P. Val Kilmer for delivering that fucking banger of a line.
Damn it, Gay Perry. Damn it.
I love Gay Perry. He's the best.
No, never mind. That's for another time.
I appreciate your restraint, Tucker.
I don't know how much of this is being cut out. Where are we coming back in?
We're still here, Brett.
We're still here.
I can hold it a little longer. It's still going, dude.
I thought you were at least going to cut out the part where you said you had to pee. That's a little.
No.
Right. You know, unless let me get my phone so I can time code this. Really, Brett, unless we say
so we're like.
Speaking of it, we are recording this 3 days after the great Gaylord Sartain died.
RIMFNP for sure.
Correct. We fucking love that dude.
So we're just assuming people aren't listening at all anymore, huh?
I mean, look, it's an episode about the 2024 film AfrAId.
Here's the thing, you guys. I loved this movie, but I will admit there's nothing to say about this movie because, like I said, it's a really good TV movie. It's quick. You're in and you're out, and it was pretty cool and a little scary, and like there was some fun stuff and some cool dynamics. But it's not really something to meditate on. I don't think of unless we just talk about like how it portrayed AI and how much that fucking terrifies us.
And the problems I had with it.
I can't wait till we get into that.
Let's do we need to take a pause for the cause so Tucker can make his pee?
Probably.
I'm gonna say yeah, I think that's good. You know, you guys, I haven't used a 5 minutes later in a while.
Okay, let's put it in here.
Sure.
I think I'll use it right now.
5 minutes later.
You guys, you wouldn't believe this, but about 10 minutes ago, I poured a whole shot in my lap, like while I was talking. I did not stop. I just kept going. I just rolled with it. But now, not only do I look like I pissed myself, but I just reek of bourbon.
I mean,
there are worse things to reek of.
When you went to the bathroom, you could have changed pants.
No,
and we would not have been the wiser.
It's kind of making me warmer a little bit. It's a little tingly on my nethers.
Tucker, it's about to get too warm the next few days.
Oh yeah. Luckily, I installed a window air conditioner unit today.
Oh,
that's good.
And it has a thermostat, so I don't have to be like, oh, it's too cold, I gotta turn it down. I just tell it the temperature I want.
Fucking smart. Fucking smart.
Future Tucker is gonna appreciate the hell out of that.
Not as smart as AfrAId.
Wait, you think this movie is smart? I actually want to get into.
The AI is smart. I meant like the AI was smart.
I want to get into some of Brett's issues in this movie because I think Brett and I have a lot of the same issues in this movie. And
please, let's go.
Strong possibility, and if not, we can discuss yours too.
Dude, yeah.
So some of them I've touched on already. How heavy-handed it is.
Oh, it's very ham-fisted.
And how
obvious too, kind of.
And let me, hence my rolling my eyes that it sort of became evil because of the whole internet,
right?
Because that's a cool conceit, right? That like an AI grew out of nothing. When they say like it came from, nobody knows where it came from. Right. That's like an internet cryptid. That's an AI that just grew on its own and
except it's a fucking stupid looking AI cryptid, if I may say so.
It looks like heating coils.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really a weird design, but
like they took apart a space heater.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I liked the gooey like mercury that came out of it when they shot it. That was cool.
Goo. Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, even though it doesn't actually die.
No.
It's the internet. Because
it's
the internet.
It's a slasher. Slashers don't die.
The internet is everywhere.
Exactly.
Only if you destroyed every server in the world.
The one thing I will give this movie credit for is it doesn't use the cloud as an excuse for things like we did in like the 2010s. Like everything was the cloud. Like, I just pushed this button and it's in the cloud.
She mentions the cloud at the very end.
Because that's how she still exists.
Yeah.
She literally exists in the cloud. Like you can't get to her unless, like I said, every server ever is destroyed. It's the only way you can get rid of her.
Yeah. And I wish that the way it controlled people wasn't just like by blackmailing them. Like the only way that they could but they act. Here's the confusing thing. Like they act like they're literally being controlled by the AI.
I didn't get that. Get that when the gal from Why Last Man really needed a second season. When she shot the dude. The
Malchian.
He was diabetic. No, he was cancer. He was cancer.
Cancer.
He was doing chemo. I did like their little dig at like the live forever like tech bro guys when he was like, yeah, I'm a fucking live forever bro. Blah.
Biohacking.
Biohacking.
Yes. But yeah, like I didn't get that. Like, why did that gal act like she even was like surprised and like horrified that she did it? And it felt like she was being physically controlled by the AI. I did not understand that part. It was frightening, maybe because I didn't understand it, and I was so into the movie that I couldn't be annoyed by it.
I feel like if this movie had been better, they would have explained that. But it feels like they're going for. Brett and I were talking about this a little bit when you were peeing the first time before we were recording.
Nice.
Before we started recording, Tucker? Did you see the Fox show The Following with Kevin Bacon and James Purefoy?
And
Solomon Kate's James Purefoy.
Also, straight up, Sean. He's a twin. He's in Quantum Break and Alan Wake 2. Sean Ashmore, thank you. And Sean Ashmore's in that show too, or his twin. One of the two. One of those Ashmore boys is in The Following.
Also in the He Who Must Not Be Named X-Men films, and also in Veronica Mars Angel. And not Angel, no, Iceman.
And also solid cop show The Rookie that I've mentioned before.
Yeah, with fucking Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
My parents love that show.
Oh, it's very much like
it's a dad show for sure.
It's a dad show, 100%.
It's like it's NCIS is like not what it used to be, and so we're all in on The Rookie now.
But like I love it because Nathan Fillion's there, and he invites his Firefly friends every once in a while. And
The Following.
Alan Tudyk shows up, and we're like, "Yay, Alan Tudyk's here!"
And also Valerie Curry. Like there's a lot of good actors in that show, but the show itself is not good.
I liked it. I binged all 7 seasons when I was off on FMLA. I enjoyed it.
The Following?
Oh, not The Following. I thought The Rookie. We're talking about The Rookie. What do you mean?
I pivoted back to The Following.
I don't fucking know. Tucker, you're trying to talk. I'm sorry. Go on.
So I really enjoyed the first season of The Following. Groundbreaking television. Groundbreaking.
I only got through like 3 or 4 episodes.
But then they just kind of fumbled it in the second season, and I just didn't give a fuck anymore.
Oh, you mean they put all their time and effort in developing of the first season, and when they got renewed for a second, they had no idea where to go? Interesting. Tell me more.
Just like Wayward Pines. I don't even remember the second season of Wayward Pines.
They made a second season of Wayward Pines?
The first season of Wayward Pines is one of the best things I've ever fucking seen on television.
And they fumbled the second season so hard.
Oh, they fucked it up. I was so bad. Same with Made for Love. Made for Love, another sci-fi show that the first season is perfect television, and they just like, I feel like the second season the writers no shit got into a room, sat at a table, and they were like, how can we fucking ruin this so hard that no one will ever want to watch it again? How can we betray every relationship that we've set up? How could we like not follow through with any of the most interesting things in the first season and the second season? How can we make this the worst season of television ever?
I feel like Heroes. I feel like Heroes is one of those shows too, where they clear vision for the first season, then afterward they're like, I don't know, try stuff.
No, that wasn't their fault. That was the writer's strike's fault.
Writer's strike, yeah.
And B, they weren't expecting the fans to attach themselves to those characters so hard, so they had to pivot away from the anthology they wanted to do, and they were forced by the studio to be like, well, you can't get rid of these characters, everybody loves these characters, you have to keep them.
Dumb.
And that's why they went, I don't know what to fucking do, this wasn't the plan. So
yeah, Steven, not everybody can coast through the writer's strike on Ghost Facers. Okay.
It's a Supernatural reference.
Oh yeah, I didn't get very far in that show.
So no, during the writer's strike that we were just mentioning, they just filmed an all improv episode, handheld camera, like Ghost Hunters kind of deal, and those characters became a big deal. They kept coming back. There are several Ghost Facers episodes, and yeah, Supernatural kind of outriders striked the writer's strike.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it, I guess.
It's good too. It's really good.
I mean, you watched through season 5, so you saw most of the Ghost Facers episodes.
Did I?
Yeah,
here's the thing.
Yes.
It was so long ago, and I don't remember any of it.
Well, look, here's the problem. Supernatural, when you binge it, not that good.
Yeah, no, you gotta let it digest.
Yeah, you gotta give it a week between episodes, like you should, because otherwise, you're like, why are you guys having the same conversation every episode?
Brett, you were sounding a lot like Tucker right now.
Look,
Brett has been Tucker pilled.
I'm usually the one that advocate for binging, like Severance. I watched season 2 of Severance while I was out on FMLA too, and I'm glad I did, because I wouldn't have been able to keep that shit straight, and I'd been watching it week to week. Like,
fair. I'd be watching the breakdown videos though. I'm a Pete Peppers kind of guy, where like I'd be watching the breakdowns and shit.
I tell you, if you're not listening to the podcast, by the way, you should totally be listening.
Fuck yeah! I keep seeing the ads. They're like, "There's a companion podcast." I want to listen to the Hacks one too. I'll bet that one's really good. Hacks is a good ass show.
How many of those are hosted by Chris Hardwick?
Which one?
Which Chris Hardwick?
No, yes. I mean, which are you talking about? The Severance podcast hosted?
How many of those companion podcasts are hosted by Chris? He was the guy for a while who was like
for Talking Dead. He was Talking Dead.
He was like hosting all of those like post wrap up podcasts. Like
no, Steven, these are hosted by Chris W.S. Hardwick.
Oh, I see.
Different guy altogether.
Not CT Hardwick.
No. Both post show hosts, both very different though.
I see. Interesting.
Similar names.
And the Severance one is hosted by Ben Stiller and Adam Scott. So
oh fuck.
Yes.
Way into it.
There's an episode for each episode of the show. Fuck. They usually have somebody on that was like one of the actors that was a focus of that episode.
Am I gonna have to do a rewatch while I listen to this fucking podcast? Are you kidding me, Brett?
It helps. Yeah, it's fun if you have like.
Fuck.
I
need
didn't
to figure out what my Apple TV Plus login is so I can finish watching Severance.
I found the podcast after the fact, mainly because I wanted to listen to what's her name? Played Brianna Tarth. Steven.
Oh fuck! What if I weren't so drunk? I would absolutely know her name.
I don't know about them fantasy movies.
She was in it. She was Phasma in the Star Wars movies.
She was in a Star Wars.
Yes.
Which one?
The first, the 7th and 8th one, Last Jedi and
Gwendolyn Christie.
Gwendolyn Christie, thank you. Yes.
Gwendolyn Christie.
Good Googling, Brett. Good
Tucker,
Googling.
sounds like you would know her as she was the head of the goat department.
Oh wow! Oh yes! Oh, the gal from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I named her character, not that she was in Game of Thrones.
I try to forget Game of Thrones. Honestly,
I mean, we kind of all do.
The fact that I had to live through it and like not by my own choice. It was helpful that the person I watched it with was very into it, so that at least made it slightly interesting in it because it made me slightly interested in it. So
you do like watching shows with people that are really into them,
and it was like coming to it after the fact without all the hype around it helped. Watching it with someone who really enjoyed it helped, and that person being okay with you stopping before season 6 also helps.
Dude, yeah.
Or before season 7. Did it have 8 seasons? I didn't watch the last 2 seasons.
I think that's where I stopped too.
I forgot what show we were talking about, if I'm being honest.
We've gotten distracted. We were talking about Severance, and
but there's not 8 seasons of that.
No.
For Game of Thrones, there are 8 seasons. I hated that show.
Yes, like so we watched season 6, and then I chose to stop.
I'm pretty sure that is also where I stopped also.
And Ash was like, fair. We don't have to continue.
Nah. I seen it all, but you know what? I'm not dating that person anymore, so I don't have to watch that new shit they're putting out. I don't have to watch it. And every time I see it, I smile because I'm like, fuck yeah, I don't have to watch that.
House of Dragons, first season, really good. House of Dragons, season 1, on par with some of the best seasons of Game of Thrones.
I watched 1.5 episodes and I was out.
Season 2. Well, I mean, you also, when did you watch Game of Thrones? Were you like in the thick of it at the time?
I
to it after.
I was watching it like after the seasons were like after the season 6 came out, I watched season 6, and at the finale of season 6, I was like, you know what? I did this 3 times with Game of Thrones. I was like, you know what? Now's a good time to tap out. And after season 6, I'm like, you know what? I'm done for real this time.
That's a very Steven thing.
There were moments, and after Lost, because Lost was a sunk cost show from, and Heroes too.
I feel like Lost would be giving people PTSD.
Lost and Heroes were my 2 sunk cost shows, where I was like, I'm deep into this. I've watched every fucking season. I'm gonna stick with it till the end, and I deeply regretted it. So after the finale of Lost, I gave myself permission to, if I wasn't into a show anymore, to just stop watching it, which is why I start and stop so many shows. And some shows people are like, oh, you should get back into it. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I will someday. Like, you do this to me all the time, Tucker. We're like, dude, you should watch that show. Or Brett will do that to me. Like, oh, you should watch that show. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it didn't keep my attention long enough for me to stay with it. But then there are some shows where like I may have tapped out too early, and I would be interested in going back to that.
Well, so here's the thing that I'm learning with my partner, who is not into nearly as many things as I am, as much as I try to get her into the things that I'm into.
I'm right there with you, Brett.
You got to learn to let it go.
Yep.
Like that's why I don't really do that with you anymore, because you got to learn that some people are not going to like what you like.
Exactly.
No matter how much you tell them, they're just not going to like it.
Yeah.
And the more you try to force it on them, the more pissed off they're going to get.
My partner and I started a David Lynch watch through, and we made it through 2 episodes of Twin Peaks before she looked at me dead in the eye and just said, I hate this.
And this
I would have been Blue Velvet, because that's where I would have tapped out.
That's so hard. Like it's fine to have this mantra of like just letting that go. But when it's something you absolutely love that they hate, That's hard. That's
and Twin Peaks
real
is
fucking difficult.
My single favorite television show in existence, and to have her like just look at me dead in the eye and go, I really hate this.
You know, I think I disagree with you, Brett, because I think the further away your interests are, the more things that you can find in between. And
Which we do. I mean, those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
I would say that's what was so exciting when our mutual friend and I were dating. Is like we had completely polar opposite interests. Like after about 4 days of knowing her, I showed her Day of the Dead, and halfway through it, she was like, I don't like gore and shit. Like, so can we fucking turn this off? And I was like, yes, we can. Like, that is fair. And so, like, on those experiences, we would show each other stuff, and eventually it started coming to the center, where we would find stuff that, like, we knew what we liked and what we didn't like, and we could watch things together that we both liked, just, like, based on those experiences.
Yeah, you can stand, but and the sign of a healthy relationship is that you can share the things you like with the other person, and they will still listen and be attentive to the things that you like.
Correct.
Even if they themselves don't like them, and I think that's great, because that's what we do. We found stuff that we both like.
Same.
Now, I mean, there's hard and fast rules. Like, I don't think I could date somebody that doesn't like horror movies. I think that would be...
I was going to say, that feels like an immediate deal breaker.
Yeah, no, it's like you have deal breakers. Like, there's certain things.
Like, loving horror movies is, I would say, not your entire personality, but at least half.
Yeah.
At least half of your personality.
Yeah,
is like
the other half is Ghostbusters.
Yeah, obviously.
Which may or may not... I mean, you didn't count it as a horror movie for a long... I think I was the one who, like, convinced you it's a horror comedy.
So many people adjacent. Did. It's horror adjacent.
So many people were like, what do you mean? You weren't the only one that I eventually gave in. It was like, all right, fine. But here's the thing. She like, my partner loves horror movies, but she only thinks Ghostbusters is fine. So, like, you know.
Brett, I'm counting this as growth.
No, if she had done what she did with Clue and said it was hot garbage.
Oh no! How dare you?
What the fuck?
Go get her right now, Brett.
Bring her in this room. We will have a conversation.
I had a feeling you guys would have this reaction.
You fucked up, Brett.
You done fucked up, Ron.
There is no one that doesn't like Clue. That's like, no, wait, no, not gonna say that.
She does not care for that kind of comedy.
Yes.
And B,
I'm so glad that you understand what I'm thinking.
Does not like murder mysteries. So, yeah.
Clue is...
That is fair.
Clue's a fucking masterpiece.
I mean, I will not, on a public forum, get into why I think she doesn't like murder mysteries, but, like, I get it.
Yeah.
I knowing a few things about your partner and having met her before, I might be able to see why that's the case.
Maybe. It is also a deeper thing that I think I've only recently figured out, but either way.
Oh, okay.
But I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, though.
No, I mean it's very rudimentary, base level stuff. But yeah,
sure.
I don't know her like you know her. Let's just say that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've met her twice.
Sure.
Once or twice. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know her as well as you do.
And I'm sure Tucker will meet her soon now that he is in the state.
Right. I was going to
say.
Next time we all get together, we should get together with our partners, and Tucker will just come by himself.
Bitch, did you just say maybe? There's no maybe. Like, you were good.
Bitch. He said, bitch.
Wait, you said bitch though?
He said it though. He said bitch.
He said it though.
Bitch.
Wait, you...
Fucking Key and Peele. Legend.
But also, like I said, though, she doesn't like that kind of humor either. I don't think. Because compare the two, like, because I showed her Clue, she thought that was hot garbage, and then I showed her UHF, and she was like, I didn't really like that, but I get why it's funny.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's at least, yeah. I can appreciate that.
So there's two styles of comedy there. I don't
very different styles of comedy.
Now, have you showed her Pootie Tang?
I don't think
Tucker, she's not dating you.
I'm just saying, I'd be very interested to gauge the reaction. Can we just, hey, Brett, can we have a Patreon show where we just show movies to your partner that we know that she's not going to fucking like? And then,
but then what might shock you is she might like one of them, and then
hey, that's the chance you take,
Sure.
Like that would be a whole different thing. Like you're spinning the roulette wheel, like black or red. 50-50.
That's our new Patreon show where we show Brett's partner movies that we're pretty sure she's not gonna like.
Yeah,
I'm so into that. Talk to her about it, Brett. Get back to us.
At the end of the day, she likes horror movies, and that's basically it.
And I was gonna say that's huge for you, though.
Well, it is, but I'd also like to show her some other movies and have her appreciate them.
And I also have a partner with very polarized taste. Like she's the first person I've ever been with that will actively say I hate this. Whereas I don't have that strong of a visceral reaction to film. I'm like, that's not for me. I don't like that. That's not my thing.
Yeah, here's the problem. My partner has that visceral reaction, but she will not say it out loud.
Ooh.
I didn't know her that she had that opinion about Clue until she was a little drunk 3 months later at Christmas. So she didn't want to tear me down like that at the time, and I can appreciate that.
No,
it's like a Brooks comedy right there in itself.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's key for you, because knowing some things I know about you and people reacting to movies that you like in the moment viscerally like that, I feel like she knows you well enough to know that you would not have responded well to that.
Well, I don't know if it's that so much as that's just kind of person she is.
I mean, but again, that speaks to your compatibility level, I think.
Well, yeah.
We're really getting into relationship shit tonight.
Yeah, man. AI sucks, doesn't it?
No, it was real good. But
what are some of your other issues with
there's not much to talk about, really.
For AID, Brett.
My only other issue with the movie, now that we brought it back around, I mean, I was starting to get uncomfortable with the amount we were talking about my relationship.
I'm pivoting away, Brett. I'm pivoting away.
We'll pivot back around.
Brett, if you would like for me to cut any of that out, we can discuss that later.
Oh, no, it's fine. She won't listen to it. It's okay. But I think the only other thing I had a problem with is something that maybe you like, Tucker, is that it moved too fast. It went too fast. Nothing was earned. I didn't feel connected.
Very little of this movie felt earned to me.
I will agree with you, but for me, I have the opposite reaction to that it moves so fast that this was kind of a family drama, within the skeleton of a thriller. And I really appreciated a lot of the character moments that we got, and the fact that they pulled a lot of those off so as well as they did, while keeping such a breakneck pace in this movie. This movie flies the fuck by.
Again, less than 90 minutes. This movie is short, but I would have appreciated more character development, more exploration of those dynamics,
and more of a slow burn of the AI starting to get a little bit more insidious instead of just 0 to 100.
Not that I want this movie to be 2.5 hours long like every other fucking movie that's released nowadays is. I love the fact that it's 90 minutes, but again, I agree with Brett, there are definite pacing issues with this movie.
And my biggest problem there is one scene. He comes home, says, we're done with this AI, right after she is she's going to help me redo my thesis, and she's great. She helps me with all of the kids, and I get to be a person and not a mom anymore. And, there's this undertone of, fuck you, how dare you tell me what you're going to do? And, maybe I can help you find some porn, fuck off. And there's an argument. In the very next scene, she's the one unplugging it. She's like, this is fine. We have to let her go. What do you mean? If there had been maybe just 2 scenes in between those two, it might not have been that bad, but it's literally the next scene.
Right.
I will concede that all of your complaints are valid to the point that I also noticed these things. But this is just one of those movies that maybe it was that I had such low expectations coming in. I had a really good time with it, warts and all. It's a warts and all movie, is what I'll say.
Again, that's fine.
That's
again, like Brett said earlier, I'm glad you liked it.
I'm glad you.
And I think that's what classifies it as like maybe this shouldn't have been released to theaters. Maybe like this, because this feels like a really good movie of the week, dude, on TV. Like this is fantastic. This is like it level shit.
Here's the thing that boggles my mind. This movie got released to theaters, but Prey got released direct to stream.
Right?
This feels like a Netflix movie to me.
Yeah, and this would be a perfect little Netflix movie,
which is again no
24 minutes with credits.
Which again, no slight to this movie, but that feels like the space it's more built for than a theatrical release, and I think the box office bears that out. Not to get ahead of ourselves,
I'll go as far as to say that this feels like a just slightly longer episode of an anthology show.
Could have been a Black Mirror episode.
Like a Black Mirror.
It could have been an hour, and without credits, that's an hour and like 10, 15 minutes.
The problem...
That's shorter than Pootie Tang. Speaking of Pootie Tang.
We're always speaking about Pootie Tang.
Always. True. If you're not talking about Pootie Tang, what the fuck are you talking about?
The problem with the Black Mirror analog, Brett, is I don't think it's clever enough to be a Black Mirror episode. And again, no slight to the writing. Chris WEITZ, if you're... I heard recently on the Blank Check podcast that Chris WEITZ, who is a friend of that podcast, considers this a movie that does not exist. So Chris WEITZ, if you came across this podcast somehow and are listening to this episode, come on the show. We will hold our Golden Compass episode until you reach out to us. If you come on, we will discuss Golden Compass with you on the episode. Please come on the podcast.
Oh shit, that didn't get any sequels, did it?
It sure didn't.
That's crazy.
It's on the fucking list.
I mean, look, we play it fast and loose with the format at times, but is... I can't believe we haven't done Golden Compass. That's the epitome of a failed franchise starter.
I think it's one we're saving for like a Christmas. Because
do we have a guest lined up?
We don't. You know what? We do have a guest lined up if Chris WEITZ decides to come on the podcast. If you made it
this far into this episode, got it.
Right. Chris WEITZ, if you've come this far, come on the podcast, please and thank you.
Should we like put in the notes, like if you're Chris White, like just go to this point in the podcast so that we can speak directly to you. You don't have to listen to any of the rest of it.
Send me the timestamp and I will absolutely put that in the show notes, Tucker. Okay. I'm not even a little bit joking.
I'm gonna give myself.
I would fucking love Chris WEITZ once responded to a tweet that I made, and so I feel like
we're already buddies. Then
we have a connection.
Yeah, dude, you guys are practically brothers at this point.
Deep in the replies of the Blank Check podcast, where I was like, okay, wow. Like Chris, what is your blank check? Like what movies in your oeuvre would you consider? And he had an incredibly well thought out and executed response.
Wow, like he thought it, but he wasn't just like, cool, idiot.
No, he was like, this is my check that cleared. This is my check that bounced. This is my, like, he had it all like metered out. Like it was really, really thoughtful. Like he had considered it. I don't know that we're friends, but I think I just like, I sparked something that made him go, fuck you. Here's this.
You guys, speaking of friends, did I ever tell you about the time that I argued with Patricia Arquette on Instagram?
I think you have, but please let's talk about it again.
I love Patricia Arquette. I truly, truly do.
We all love Patty Arquette.
She's fantastic.
Academy and Emmy Award winner Patty Arquette. We fucking love Patty. Come on the podcast.
But no one is perfect, so no one's opinions are perfect. And I don't remember what the post was, but people were talking about like, film criticism is a detriment to the industry and it shouldn't fucking exist. And like I presented a counter argument, and she got a little shitty with me, if I'm being honest. And I was like, look, like I don't even care if you're shitty with me. I just want to tell you that you are rad, and it makes me sad that we're disagreeing, but you are so cool, and okay, bye.
Brett,
And
you ever had any celebrity interactions on on social media?
I feel like maybe, but I don't remember.
You guys, not to boast, but a couple months ago, I posted that I was listening to Eternally Hard, an album by late 90s lesbian experimental group Bitch and Animal, and Bitch liked my post on Instagram. You guys,
Not Animal, though.
No, I don't know what happened to her, honestly.
That's a bummer.
Bitch is still around, though. Bitch is still doing stuff.
I once tweeted that I found it ironic that Real Big Fish's big hit was a song about selling out, and one of the horn section from Real Big Fish liked that tweet.
Oh wow, they got you, dude. Got him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, if we're just talking about like people, like famous people liking your stuff, I mean that's happened.
Sure. Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, as recently as my brief stint on Bluesky.
I was gonna say, didn't last long.
No, because again, you realize social media is a cesspool, and you just want out. Even Bluesky, I can't do it.
I mean, the benefit of Bluesky is that everyone kind of had a complicit agreement early on to block the shittiest people there.
Sure.
So it's a lot better than every other social media app for that reason.
Yeah.
Which is why it's one of the few social media apps that this podcast is on.
That's fair. Yeah, but it was a post on Bluesky about how I appreciate that even nowadays newer emo post-punk bands are keeping the tradition alive of having those really long, ridiculous song names.
Right.
Oh, geez.
And Young Medicine was the one that I tweeted about. They're a fairly newer band, and they had a song called "I'm Heading to Rock Bottom. Do you guys need anything?"
And this is the clincher. This is the big thing, is that these long ass titles that they spend probably hours trying to be like so clever about have nothing to do with the songs. Like these, like traditionally, like I'd say 90% of the time,
that's
like
a Pete Wentz thing. As someone whose partner is a big fan of Fall Out Boy, that is 100% a Pete Wentz thing.
And to be fair, the Young Medicine song I was talking about, A, doesn't have a ridiculously long title, and B, the song is about hitting rock bottom. So it's just it's like one of those, it's reminiscent of the old school Fall Out Boy titles.
Boy, I'll tell you,
Chiodos did it a lot too. Like
bands like Brand New and fucking Autumn to Ashes and all those other bands, like none of those titles meant anything. It was so weird. And like I'm all about bucking the tradition, because the tradition is like usually your title like either at least shows up lyrically or at the very least thematically in your song. But these song titles like just had nothing to do with anything.
Again, Pete Wentz, man. And
like,
again,
how clever can we like string a sentence together?
I've seen Fall Out Boy live, and I would be hard pressed to tell you too many Fall Out Boy titles.
Yeah.
The last concert I went to was, in fact, a Fall Out Boy concert.
I want to be clear. I'm not against it. I just think it's interesting that was a thing for a while, and that it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm all for it. Please name your song some really long sentence that doesn't have anything to do with the song. Please, I want you to
bands
do that,
keeping it alive, and I appreciate it.
They
liked that post on Bluesky. The band
Fuck
did.
Yeah, dude. So. You love those guys.
Yeah, and they're a really cool band. Honestly, they have songs based on pop culture, but like vague pop culture. Like they have a Lost Boys song. They have a song about Winter Soldier. You wouldn't know it's
rad.
like a song about Winter Soldier except for some of the lyrics. You're like, is this about Captain America? Winter Soldier?
Brett, do you think that when AfrAID is reassessed in like 10 years and this band is still around, that maybe they'll do a song about AfrAID once people like start to appreciate it for the fantastic television film that it is?
Nah, but Ice Nine Kills might.
I was gonna say that sounds like an Ice Nine Kills thing.
Yeah. They'll jump onto anything to get the horror fans. Look at those guys. I'm way into gimmicks. I'm all for a gimmick. Like,
There's
good for those
currently,
guys.
speaking of AI though, there's a rumor going around because they had a bit of a kerfuffle about AI usage, and Spencer, the lead singer, kind of doubled down on it.
Oh no!
Which was like people thought was weird. Like, this doesn't seem like something Spencer would do. So the fandom is kind of wondering, okay, is this like a Megan thing? Are they going to do a song for the Megan sequel? Because that's what's happening right now. If they don't, it's a real bad look. So we're all kind of crossing our fingers and hoping that it is.
Well, and again, like Natasha Lyonne said all this shit recently about like AI, but then it's become evident that she is an investor in an AI software company. So like she's got a stake in it. But like by the same token, like Natasha Lyonne, you're an artist. What the fuck are you doing?
She sold her soul to AI.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Do you think her voice will get even raspier without a soul?
I honestly
would be way into that.
I think it'll
leave a
even
raspy voice on a lady.
I think it'll even out.
Oh, well, that's too bad. I love a Kathleen Turner, you know.
Kathleen Turner overdrive. That's a deep cut that I think YouTube got, but I'm not sure anybody else would have gotten that.
No, well, yeah.
I only got it because you made me watch that movie.
That's from the Minecraft movie, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
That's what I knew it. That's when they throw all the shit in the theaters when he says Kathleen Turner overdrive. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. And then Tim Robbins is there as like a stinky hippie. And they throw an air conditioner on his head.
Yeah. But I mean, you want to talk about gross. Like, that used to be my favorite movie. And I used to base all of my
Look, Brett, that's just like anything. Like when you're a young man, like all the media, especially when you're a young white straight man, all the media is for you. So like it's tailored for you. So it's easy to kind of, like poke that stuff into your psyche. I don't think that I'm going to reveal what the movie is we're talking about. I don't think that High Fidelity is a bad film. I think it's a wonderful film. But I just can't relate to it anymore. It's the same thing with my favorite band in high school was Led Zeppelin. I got rid of my Led Zeppelin records because they were wasting space with my other records. Because I don't fucking listen to them anymore because I can't abide Jimmy Page's sloppy playing. That's just not who I am anymore.
Yeah, growing up is realizing that Rob in High Fidelity is a piece of shit.
Yep.
We have all those memories we had, good times watching that movie, and we're glad we had them, but sometimes you just can't relate to a motherfucker anymore, and it's over.
Yeah.
It's just over. Some movies are like that.
But you can still appreciate the Jack Black performance in that movie, though.
Yes, all of the performances in that movie I think are fantastic.
Brett, you can be and are wrong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
and also the egregious misquoting of which Army of Darkness movie, which Evil Dead movie they're talking about, bothers me every fucking time.
Yeah, that tracks.
If I tell you I haven't seen Evil Dead 2 yet, does that imply I want to see it? And then he mentions, we talked about the guy making Beretta shotgun ammo off screen in the 1600s. That doesn't happen in Evil Dead 2. That happens in Army of Darkness.
Well, Brett, look, like you're right, but if I may put you slightly in your place, in the original Ghostbusters, that Bible verse is not Revelation 7:12.
No.
It's in the Bible. It's a couple verses later.
And the Tunguska Blast happened in 1908, not 1909. I know.
Yep,
just like the quote from the Bible verse from Pulp Fiction is like half Ezekiel and half some Sonny Chiba speech. Like,
sure, yeah.
Sorry, I missed it.
I mean, I don't know why the one in High Fidelity bothers me more than those, but like it just does for some reason. I don't know why.
That's fair.
I mean, I will say it is on brand.
I mean, maybe it's because it's more than just a line that you can, like, a bit of info or something you could fuck up. It's an entire conversation.
Yeah. One thing that is very accurate, if I may point it out, one of my favorite bands, Belle and Sebastian, is described in High Fidelity as sad old bastard music, and that is 100% correct. Love those motherfuckers, but yes, that is sad old bastard music for sure.
You do love those bastards.
I do love those guys. Yeah, they're great.
Gentlemen, do we have any other thoughts on AfrAId?
No, let's move on to the box office, please.
It was a little snack of a movie. It was a snack of a movie. There's nothing really to say outside of what we said.
This movie was released on August 30th, 2024. It opened at number 9 in the domestic box office. It opened to $3.7 million.
Stop. He's already dead.
Wait. Before you go any further, if I may say, something I was thinking about is how cheap it must have been to make this movie. I swear, if this movie's budget is over $10 million, I'm going to lose all faith,
Tucker,
in the film industry.
Tucker,
witness me losing all faith in the film industry in 5, 4, 3, 2.
According to Wikipedia, the budget is $12 million.
I mean, that's not as devastating. It's close. It's not as devastating.
If you had said like 30 million, Tucker might have.
I mean,
yes. Would have quit the podcast if you told me this was a $30 million movie.
No, but like according to thenumbers.com, the-numbers.com, the domestic box office pull from this movie is 6.7 million.
Jeez,
so it earns over half of its domestic gross in its first weekend. And then the international box office is another 2.3. So the worldwide is like $9 million.
And that's the thing that's so disappointing about this is that's the point of horror movies. That's the point of thrillers, is that you can make them on the cheap and people eat that shit up.
Right.
Like, what happened to this movie?
Now, Wikipedia...
I know you guys had problems with it, but this is not a movie that makes $4 million worldwide.
I mean, they made a giant, fancy-looking supercomputer out of like toilet paper tubes,
right? Paper towel rolls.
I liked that. I thought that was a cool twist.
Of course, you did.
It kind of was.
Like,
honestly.
Now, I did kind of, as it was leading up to it, I predicted that since it was so easy for him to crush the glass, that was probably a decoy, but I did not expect it to be like paper towel rolls, and I was very into that. Into it.
I will say that the Wikipedia lists the box office at $14 million, so there is a discrepancy there.
That's still not like...
No.
I never saw any advertising for this, but there's no way they spent less than $2 million on advertising for this.
I saw very little. Right, exactly. And so yeah, between $9 and $14 million was the box office gross for this film. It opens again, like I said, at number 9. Number 1 in its 6th week of release, retaining the number 1 spot, is a little movie released by the Walt Disney Corporation called Deadpool and Wolverine.
I saw that.
Yeah.
You know what? I watched that movie 3 times, and I don't ever need to see it again.
I've made my opinions on Ryan Reynolds abundantly clear on this podcast. I do not need to reiterate them again.
Yo, that commentary is really good, though.
I'll take your word for it.
And it's on Disney Plus. You can listen to the commentary on Disney Plus.
And I think Deadpool and Wolverine is the ultimate culmination of the MCU up to that point, more so than Endgame. But that isn't entirely the compliment you might take it as.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound, the way you phrase it doesn't sound like a compliment.
Because, I mean, it's because it's also, in that same token, the epitome of you having to have watched literally everything before it to get some of the jokes.
But I did, though, is the thing. And, like, not only did you have to watch every MCU movie and every Fox X-Men movie, but you had to watch motherfucking Daredevil. You had to watch Blade. You had to know that Channing Tatum was supposed to play Gambit. Yeah. And, like, for me...
And now, like, apparently, he's going to be Gambit going forward.
Gambit, to be fair, Gambit, I enjoyed him.
What I'm saying is...
He was good.
Deadpool and Wolverine it's nowhere near like even my top 100 favorite films, not even top 500, but it was exactly what it should have been. And you can't deny it.
No,
is what I'm saying.
I will deny it, Tucker.
Well,
I
Go
can
ahead,
and I will.
Steven. I can't wait till you do.
That's what
I
Steven
just fucking did.
It is. It's not a perfect film, but it's that film perfect.
It was the number 2. It was the number 2 highest grossing film of last year. Was Deadpool and Wolverine.
And we do love Hugh Jackman, though. Can we say we love Hugh Jackman?
Huge what?
Huge Ackman.
I mean, yeah, we love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
I don't love Hugh Jackman as much as I love Sutton Foster, the person he left his wife for. But yeah.
Well, that's awkward. Okay, make it fucking weird, Steven.
Hi, I'm Steven. That's what I do.
I can't even comprehend that right now. Can we move on?
In second place, Alien Romulus, a movie I saw in theaters.
Oh, was that the one with Danny McBride?
No.
No, that was the guy that did Hills Have Eyes. That was his.
No, it's a dude that did. No, is
Evil Dead
the
remake.
Evil Dead remake.
There you go.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
think those guys, they have similar names.
Not Alexander Aja, but Fede Alvarez.
There you go. Yeah.
And by similar names, you mean names that are foreign.
I mean ethnic, Steven. No.
Oh shit!
Kidding.
We gotta hit the cancel button. Tucker, cut that out.
No, it's satire. It's satire. We're having a bit of fun.
It's satire, the thing that most people say when they're on the verge of getting canceled. No, it's satire. No, I'm a comedian who likes to push limits. And sometimes I miss.
Come on, y'all know me. Come on, man.
In third place,
it's your boy, the letter J.
In third place, one of 2 franchises to follow the Alien naming convention. It's Twisters. What if there were multiple Twisters?
I don't think I'm ever going to see that. And can I tell you why?
Because will never see it.
The Independence Day sequel was so disappointing.
I didn't even see that one either.
That time that's getting a legacy sequel. I don't give a fuck if Jeff Goldblum's in it. I'm not interested. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't see it, but my partner did, and she confirmed that it is basically just the first movie again.
Well, if you guys want to watch it, I own it on my Vudu, so also the original, so you can make it a double feature and be Twisters? Even more disappointed.
You own
Independence
Twisters?
Day.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Independence Day. Yeah, I never saw the second one because I heard that opinion. I was like, well, I don't really see that.
It's so bad. It's worse than you could imagine.
Here's the question, Tucker.
It's the opposite of AfrAId.
Here's the question.
For me, it was better than it's not perfect, but it was better than I could have imagined. But
Steven has a question for you.
Tucker, here's the question.
Yes.
Did you or will you ever see Top Gun Maverick? A film that was nominated for a Best Picture Academy Award.
Can I tell you that I have jumped through so many hoops my entire life to not have seen the original Top Gun.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, Tucker.
You have to try not to watch that movie.
Tucker, high five. We're best friends. I've also done that same thing.
What the fuck?
Wait. Calm down, Steven.
No!
No. Look, and it's not because, seriously, take a deep breath, Steven, please, if you could.
I'm knocking over my statues on my desk.
Please spare everyone.
Spider-Man about took a tumble here.
Steven almost hulked out for those who
get the blood pressure up. Don't do that.
Yes, calm down, man.
Heart attack number 3.
And I don't even remember what I was saying. What were we talking about?
You've been avoided seeing Top Gun in its entirety. I've accidentally seen bits and pieces of it.
And it's not that I think it's bad or I'm against it. I just, like I said before, with American Pie, I know what I like.
Danger Zone's a sick fucking song.
And for me, it's gonna fade out.
You think so?
I rode the Top Gun ride at Kings Island. I watched Hot Shots.
Top Gun. Here's the thing. The last time I went to Kings Island, I realized how much I had neglected Top Gun when Banshee came out. Top Gun is well, it's not Top Gun anymore, it's the Bat. But the Bat is a solid fucking ride.
It is.
Like, I forgot how good it was just because, like, better stuff came around and, like, I spent more time on that. And I was like, oh, Top Gun, it's such a long walk. Because that, even when there's no line, that's a long fucking walk, like, out into the woods.
Worth it, though.
And I didn't even realize that until last time I was there in, like, 2022. Went on a solo trip.
I mean, that line was worth it when the theming was on point with it being Top Gun, but now it's just like it is just a long walk.
Well, yeah, Paramount doesn't own the park anymore, so all the movie like the Face Off coaster is no longer the Face Off coaster.
The Outer Limits coaster is now just some generic bullshit thing. Like
Outer Limits was so good.
Greetings, listeners. It's me, Tucker, from the thing you're listening to. Unfortunately, at this point in the recording, my audio completely shit the bed and was lost forever. It's okay, though. You didn't miss much. We just talked about Kings Island some more before proceeding with the rest of the films on the top 10 the week AfrAId was released. Gosh, I'm really sorry about this, but with a little editing magic, I've recreated the ending stinger. Sorry. See you next week.
Let's do it. All right. This has been our episode on AfrAID. Chris WEITZ, please come on the podcast. I have been your host, Stephen Foxworthy, for my co-hosts Brett Wright and Tucker. Until next time, I love you.
I love you.
I love you.